3 or 4 horses had a spell in front as the race took shape afterwards, and I mean, it's not to be sniffed at the amount of ground he lost at the start. Maybe it was such a good opportunity on paper. He could have been expected to still overcome those adverse circumstances. He's getting edgy now as we speak at the start. Looks like they're ready to go. Should be a quality race.
Interesting race. Here's Stuart.
And the 5 of them have jumped away without any problems at all, it would seem. And Barrichello, black cap, shows up prominently on the run to the first of the 8 scheduled flights, with Good Risk at All under hat-trick chasing James Bowen, the hoop sleeves and cap. Chasing on the left, Heronord, Lidford between horses, Yellow Jacket and Washington at the back of the field as they rise for the first time, and they've all handled it neatly enough. So on the run to the second, and in the centre, Lidford takes over with Heronord on the near side. Then Barrichello and Good Risk at All racing close up in fourth, and 3 lengths away to Washington. The first couple of flights safely behind them, and they're about to take the left-hander to head on down the side of the course. Lidford will take the bend first, Barrichello holding the inside, with Heronord the outsider of the field racing wide, and then back to Good Risk at All, and Washington continues to race in rear. Small field, but they're going along at a decent tempo, around about 30 miles an hour at this stage, and Lidford and Bridget Andrews lead. To Barrichello and Brian Hughes, seeking continue the stellar season that he and Donald McCain are having. Heronord, the dark blue sleeves, out wide under Izzy Williams, and Good Risk at All up between horses, rising. Washington, the last a touchdown once again, under Sean Bowen in the Tim Sider silks of red and white. So now they go on the climb with a long run before they encounter the first of the 3 flights across in the back straight. They'll be beyond halfway when they get there, and Lidford in his hat-trick bid, leading, but closely attended by Barrichello sitting on his tail, Heronord out wide, and then Good Risk at All waiting in the wings, and Washington in turn stalking. A well-grouped quintet as they flatten out at the foot of the descent, and Lidford with ears pricked, leading narrowly into the next turn. Barrichello will cut the corner, Heronord circling them. Good Risk at All has travelled strongly. He's travelled powerfully through the first half of the race, but still under heavy restraint, a very close fourth, and only 2 lengths away to Washington. Starting off across the far side then on this extended run to the fourth, and the 5-strong field still covered by little more than 4 or 5 lengths. Good Risk at All perhaps not quite as fluent as the others there, and they move on towards the last 3/4 of a mile. Lidford with Barrichello at his quarters, couple of lengths to Good Risk at All. Heronord, the first one to feel a little bit of heat, drops back into fourth. Washington is taken out wide, and it's Lidford from Barrichello as they draw towards 4 out. Good Risk at All with the hoop sleeves and cap, and Washington in the red and white close up 3rd and 4th respectively, and Heronord has been relegated to last of all and is losing touch. So heading towards the last in the back straight, 3 out. Lidford, Barrichello on the near side, Washington out wide joining in, and Good Risk at All is hard on their heels as they begin the sprint back towards home. The longish dash now towards the second last. Lidford joined by Barrichello, who has the inside running rail, and Brian Hughes just noses Barrichello ahead of Lidford. Good Risk at All and Washington are still poised to strike, and Good Risk at All is shaken up, and Barrichello is the first one to line up for home. Away to the left, Washington now launching his challenge, coming there seemingly travelling strongly. Lidford and Good Risk at All are battling on, and they're running towards 2 out. Washington now delivered to challenge Barrichello. Washington was long, and he stumbled almost down on his nose. It hands Barrichello another chance. Good Risk at All has been pulled out. Here's the final flight. Barrichello, spring heel, got over it quickly, quicker through the air than Washington, who's gathered up again, but it's Hughes in front, and Barrichello is running on strongly. Good Risk at All is staying on into second, closing near the line. Barrichello all out. Barrichello, it got very close. Good Risk at All was diving at him on the near side. The judge might want to have a look. Washington was close up in third, and then back to Lidford and Heronord.
Oh, what a thrilling conclusion to the feature. Well, the judge will have a brief look before he announces Barrichello as the winner. David Hicks has just done that, and what a season this horse is having. When you think last term, I wouldn't say he couldn't get out of his own way, but he couldn't win an argument. He was He was second 5 times in a row. He had a wind operation in the summer, and he's come back this season. He bolted up at the Bangor. There's the mistake from Washington when just challenging. He's then won the Newton, the listed at Haydock, and last time at Bangor, it's a distant memory now. He's had things go his way in the straight with Washington's mistake. Good risk at all, not quite getting there. But to win 3 out of 4, it's almost like Donald McCain's season in a nutshell.
Microcosm, yeah. It is quite. It's exactly that.
Better.
I mentioned that in a Time Form report after he blitzed them at Haydock. He is the perfect sort of poster boy, really, for the transformation in the stable's fortunes. And today, him and Lidford have gone together in front. They disputed the lead at a modest enough pace. Washington has tanked into it round the outside. We can tell he lives on his nerves. That Red Hood beforehand, but he's got an awful lot of ability, that horse, and he got into the race so strongly around the outside. He showed greater pace than Good Risk at All, who another 5 yards he'd have won. I mean, he really motored. He jinked approaching the last, as we'll see in a second, David. That, given the ground that he's been undone by, that might well have been costly, but the race develops now. Heronor gets left behind. The big 4 are going flat out at this stage. Brian kicks on the home turn, as he's done at Haydock, as he's done at Bangor prior to that. And as you say, that this horse's transformation is so in step with the stables as a whole.
There's some fabulous scenes in the winners' enclosure. We had Canter Banter Racing, owners group. I've lost count of the amount of black and mauve scarves I can see. Someone must be cleaning up on those somewhere. But yeah, they love their horses, and it's easy to like a horse like this. You've seen here the strong finish of Good Risk at All. Yeah,
he just took some organised. He's still a green horse, only his 3rd run over hurdles, and he shies approaching the last, and that is a significantly well handicapped horse. That to finish in a race of that calibre as he has against a rival like Barrichello. Of course, you can excuse Washington's finishing effort because of what happened at the second last. He'd just gone to the front, but I really don't think it was home. I don't think it was over at that point, given the type of horse he is. Barrichello's really scrapped. It's a complete contrast to last season when he was getting beaten in all these Finnish novice hurdle races.
It can take a bit more out of a horse than you'd think. Just, as you say, a little stumble like that from Washington. He's obviously got the engine. He's got the ability to win more races. Lidford was the disappointment of the big 4.
Yeah, weak in the market. There wasn't much confidence behind him beforehand. He looked well in on his flat form. He's been upsides Barrichello, but he was very tame in the straight. Not much of a response at all. This is the race-deciding moment, I suppose, to some extent. We don't get to see what Washington would have found without the stumble. Just strikes me as a horse that, no, he started his career with 3 successive wins that needs an air of finesse. He might be the type for a bigger field where finally he might drop the bridle and settle. Credit to the winner, but part of me thinks that this race is about the placed horses. The strong, really eye-catching finish from Good Risk at All, and obviously what happened to Washington 2-0.
I wonder where they'll go with Barrichello. Whether he has to go left-handed, I don't know, but Musselburgh, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sharp, nippy tracks.
Scottish County. I'll ask Donald McCain.
Good Risk at All. I think he might be going. I think they probably wanted to win to guarantee something in the Betfair hurdle, and I don't think there's any races between now and then to get that mark up to try and guarantee a run. But can you imagine him at Newbury with a bit more experience under his belt, long galloping straight to really open up, and the scene of his 2 bumper wins? He'd be towards the top of my shortlist.
He's got a good race in him, certainly. But Barrichello's won a nice one today. There we can see him there. Got a bit of Graham Clark as well of the Jockey Club.
Jockey Club, there you go.
Very nice man. Right, let's get to Mark for the SPs.
Barrichello at 7-2 wins under Brian Hughes, and of course a winner for Donald McCain, beating Good Risk at All, the 11-8 favourite, in second place. The winning margin in the end was a fast diminishing neck. Number 4 didn't go, and 5 ran.
Barrichello has just made it 3 out of 4 for the season with a thrilling success in the feature handicap hurdle. Donald McCain is with me now. He's a horse transformed this season, isn't he?
Yeah, it just reminds me what a bad job I was making of him last year. He was a nice horse last year. He was second 5 times, I think, wasn't he? But to be fair to Dan, at Owners Group, we had a talk, and he said, he's been second that many times, maybe we should have a look. And on his last run, he did look like he had a wind problem from the last to the line, so we didn't do a lot, but we got it tidied up when he came back in, and obviously it just shows the difference it can make, because he's been a revelation.
Well, he sprinted home when he won by a fortnight at Bangor first time, and then he won the listed Newton at Haydock. We won't talk about Bangor last time. Everything that